Hey everybody, what's up? Paul Joseph. It is Tuesday, March 24th. It's the second day of this remote learning platform. And yeah, it's all so weird. It's all so strange. I think what I'm going to do from now on is just every morning I'm going to make a simple video like this for all of my students. So this is my journal as a teacher during this global pandemic, and then I'll have a record of it. You guys will have a record of it. I might say a few things that inspire you to take your time seriously and use this interesting moment in history to reach the goals that you find, that you acknowledge. You guys are all old enough to know what your goals are. All of you are. All of you. I don't care how old. I think when you're probably 11 or 12 or sometime after the age of 8, you should be able to identify a goal. And even if it's not like, to work for NASA or something, like, hey, I want to do this. So once you establish, hey, this is something I feel internally, like inside here in this amazing imagination that I want to do, then the next step is simply looking around at the resources you have to accomplish that thing. Do you have the resources? Because quite frankly, if someone says, hey, I want to be a doctor, but they're living in a refugee camp where there's no education and no stable, even like running water, and there's violence all around you, but you're really smart and capable of going to med schools, it's not really an option. Do you have the resources to accomplish what you identify as something you want to do? Now, I would say living in Brooklyn, New York, for the most part, you do. Now, I know some people have greater advantage than others, but do you have the raw materials to accomplish what you stated? So if you say you want to go to college, are there things around you that say, oh yeah, I want to pursue that. I want to get higher education and pursue this specific line of study and practice and expertise and perhaps vocation. But it might not be that. Maybe it's to be a performer, a hip-hop artist, or do something in fashion. Those come to mind. We have quite a few young women already making their livelihoods in hair and fashion and such. So, whatever you identify you want to do, do you? And then step 2, do you have the resources to get it? Now, I think you do. Now, your students, so presumably you have some interest in education. And our school leadership, it might not be the greatest at times, but it's also, we have resources. We have teachers who care and counselors who can, get things done. Okay, I know that. I've worked with a lot of different communities, and I know leadership has a lot of good staff on board. It's about 35 of us, 40 altogether probably, adults or staff or whatever. And then there's you guys who are awesome. There's about 200 of you. And so we know that we can accomplish the things, that we can provide the resources that you guys need to accomplish what you want. But then a global pandemic hits. And our community is delinked, Now, fortunately, in 2020, we have the means, we have the resources to still carry on education. Okay, I can post up something, I can make a video, I can point you to a YouTube video to go, because that'll help you. And so there's no reason actually that you can't accomplish what you want to as a student in a house, like an academic house, which is what 300 Willoughby, the second floor there is leadership. So there's no reason that you can't continue to reach all your goals. If you're taking the Regents in June, now the New York State Regents may end up canceling the Regents. They're postponing it until August, until students have a little bit more time to prepare. But truthfully, that's just, if you're really going to be a student and say, hey, I want to prepare for that test in June 17th, I believe, is the ELA Regents. You can. There's so many materials online. You got contact with all your ELA teachers at camp. So you can accomplish all you need. If you want to just need credit for the class, I mean, all your teachers are bending over backwards. We love it, man. We love checking work and reading work and putting checks in boxes, and we look good. So if you want to get credit for this, even 6 credits, 8 credits, 10 credits, whatever, get it. You can get it, and there's no reason you can't unless you simply don't want to. If you need a computer, tell us. If you know your friend doesn't have a computer, please tell us, and we'll get them one. Okay, that's what the New York City Department of Education is doing. 300,000 iPads or something. And that's going to bring me to one last thing here, because I don't want these videos to be too long. It's 5 minutes and 42 seconds now. The last thing I'm going to say here on this day 2 of the remote learning platform is this. After this is done, whether they say April 20th, you can come back, and or they say in May or June, or whatever they say, whatever it happens, there is no way education is going back to its former self. It's always been changing and evolving, but the brick and mortar schoolhouse, being sent to the brick and mortar schoolhouse on the hill, like that building there, that place, since about 1852 in this country. So what is that? That's 150, it's 174 years or something, or 170 years. That's changing, that's gone. Because now that we know that we can do it remotely, in our living room, on the bus, in the park, with a device, and a camera, forget about it. It's not going back. I don't know what it's going back. There's some schools that will retract back into the old brick and mortar, 6 to 8 periods a day, teachers, all that stuff, right in the classroom, walking around hallways, passes and stuff. Some of it will return to that. Some schools will do it more successful than others. But there's no way on the whole it's going back there. Suddenly there's going to be really interesting and new ways to earn your high school credit. So take advantage of it now, and you'll be forging the way for your children, quite frankly. That's exciting. Now, the last thing I'm going to say, because I think it's part of this, it can't really be separated from this, is I don't want anybody to misunderstand. I'm not saying that schools should be utterly closed down, that we don't need places of of learning specifically designed for that function, for someone to go in there and learn literacy skills, reading and writing, to develop their understanding and their appreciation of language. That's important. Mathematics and a sense of history and culture and civic life, science, and how physical principles underpin this entire universe and our bodies and our planet. There are important things to learn in a place of learning, just as we need a place to buy our groceries, just as we need a place to deposit our money and perhaps get a loan. Okay, there's places where you go that are important, and the culture needs them for very specific functions. Now, I'm not saying the school is not needed. I'm just saying it doesn't look the same. After the global pandemic, and we shrink back to where we started, it's not the same. It looks different. So we'll see. You guys, be kind to yourself. Stay healthy. Social distancing is weird because we're very social animals and we're meant to congregate and communicate. So just be safe. You guys are probably more equipped to do this than I am, quite frankly, because you guys have been socializing on these devices for now several years, and you're quite comfortable like being on your own, but being in a wide sort of community. There's disadvantages of that, of course. Psychologically, we know it has some consequences, but we also know it's a powerful thing. So, hey guys, I've gone on too long. It's 9 minutes. It's far too long. These things are hopefully getting shorter. But check it out. I think it gives some context for the whole remote learning platform and this place in history, quite frankly. You guys are awesome. You're creative. You're smart. And let's keep your eyes focused on your goal. And let me know what I can do to help you accomplish it. Now, I'm going to be reaching out specifically to each class with specific lessons and specific challenges, but truthfully, it's all just about learning. All right, later. It's almost 10 minutes.
Ooh, look out, you rock and roll.